Captain Marvel, but yeah, okay.
No,
Hate you
not.
so.
I mean, I did watch the first
3 years too
episode.
late.
Actually, no, not Captain Marvel. But anyway, she does show up in it at the end as a kind of after credits scene.
Because she was the original Miss Marvel.
Well, yeah, I guess, but like not really.
Not really. Basically, this is in lead up to the Marvels, that movie where you're gonna have Captain
Marvel's
Marvel,
the Marvels.
Miss Marvel, and what's the black lady's hero name? Photon.
Yeah.
Yeah, Photon from WandaVision.
Oh, the lady who's like, if I had your powers, I'd bring my mum back.
Yeah.
No one goes,
Your mum.
That wasn't what we were mad about.
Your mum.
we were mad about other things.
So Gavin, it's no John tonight then.
Didn't he say he would still be late?
Yeah,
he did say that.
He said be half an hour late, which is now.
You've got no grounds. You sit back down.
He's late. Oh, wait, what?
Well, that's
I think man, just
Yeah, that's a man.
yeah.
yeah, that's what I mean. He should be here half an hour late, which is now, so he's not here.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's-
I'll be right back. Hold on a second.
Oh my god.
Just chat amongst yourselves. Shut the fuck up, Humphrey. I hate you.
I mean, I kind of
Very
need John.
nice.
I kind of need John here. Fucking looking at these scores, Jesus fucking Christ! You like this fucking less than fucking Mars Attacks? What the fuck, Alec?
Well, yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ!
Oh,
At least,
man.
I mean, all I can say is, at least when you saw all the characters, none of them went. Oh, the fuck, man, Jesus!
Hey, you
That's what-
leave Mars Attacks out of this.
I love Mars Attacks.
That's
Yeah,
what's
actually,
gone missing.
No, I actually like Marcus Attack. I just don't want to give Alex some shit.
Nice.
About time someone did it.
Nice.
Well, I feel like I'm gonna have to explain my way through this fucking movie. You guys gave it not great scores, I guess, is the point.
Oh, I gave it pretty good scores.
That being said,
Yeah,
though,
why the fuck, Rob?
I had a great time. I don't know what you were watching.
I enjoyed watching them. I just thought they were garbage.
Oh,
I fucking fell asleep. Part 3,
Oh,
the
really?
first one. That's what I had to rewatch parts of it because I was like, why are they saying he's the Monkey King? That don't make any sense. And then I went back a bit and I'm like, wait a minute. And then he's like, oh, you're the Monkey King, like the monk says to him. And he's like hiding him around.
there's actually a fairly good reason why you might get confused about the story that I'll get into it in a second. But the first thing I would have to actually say is this. I realize you guys all watched it on Netflix, right? Or most of you, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
I also
real-
fell asleep during the first one, but that's because I was really tired.
I
I was tired as well.
We were all
I feel-
tired.
I feel like that's slightly my own problem because the translations for that movie was not great. But that's kind of the point for Stephen Chow films, or most of his films at least. All the translations are a bit pissed, but because they're kind of pissed, you kind of remember what they fucking say, and you're like, oh, that doesn't actually make sense, but it's funny. So you just kind of go, yeah, we'll go with it because it's a comedy, which is generally my style of comedy. Is like, yeah, fuck it, why not? We'll let it go. It's a comedy. It doesn't matter too much.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if the translation was it just bad, or was the script done in a way that the lines purposefully weren't coherent sometimes, just to be more comical.
Well, no, it was not coherent because it was early 90s. Okay, let's say, because let's start with this. The actual title of the film, proper title of the film, instead of A Chinese Odyssey Part 1, Pandora's Box, it's Journey to the West, Chapter 101. The joke being that there's 100 chapters of Journey to the West. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
I had to explain that, unfortunately, because Chinese West chapter 101, the Moonlight Treasure Box, which is the box that they have. It's not called the Pandora's box.
Yeah, I always was confused. It's like, this is not, but whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
that is such a better title. That sets the scene
trans-
so much better.
the translations for in the early 90s was made by, I don't know, when they localized it, they went, I don't know, what do white people think this is? That's Pandora's box. I guess. Yeah, sure, why not? Let's go with it. And the second
White
movie,
people.
well, I mean, technically, it's like, what is the Western audience gonna relate to it? I don't know, give them something, right?
I gotta say, I did think the goddess was particularly lax about Monkey having it. She was like, "You got the Pandora's box," and I was like, "This should be more of a big deal."
Yeah. Then the second movie is Journey to the West, the finale of Gods and Fates, which has a very good reason why it's called Of Gods and Fates, but I'll get into that in a second. So today's sponsor is Time Travel with Consequences, because that's kind of the whole theme with this movie. It's not string theory, it's loop theory. I'll get into it in a second. So
it was first popularized in Scooby-Doo.
Oh no!
And if you pay attention to some certain story beats, it does have a lot of similarities to Scooby-Doo.
Fucking Scooby-Doo.
Scooby don't.
But in any case, so I will introduce the movie. Mainly, the reason why I chose this movie is because it's a film I watched as a young child, and I've always enjoyed because there's such memorable things for good and bad reasons, singing wise as well. But we'll get to that in a second. And just listening to that song is so memeable. It's so great. Just hearing that song again after such a long time is just always cracked me up because of how it's sung, and by the fact that that guy is actually a professional opera singer and he's done it bad on purpose. Yeah, no, because essentially he was like, I don't really speak English. Why are you making me sing it mostly in English? Because it's funny. I was like, I've done it. He's like, that's the first-ish take, and they're like, nah, you're good. We don't need to. Yeah, no, we don't need to do it better. That's hilarious. We're gonna keep it like that. And it's like, okay. And so this film, I've always loved this film because it's quite stupid, right? It's not like it's a very stupid comedy film.
Quite stupid.
Hey, Mr. Tokyo Gore Police.
Yeah.
Hey. Where did that? I knew that was coming.
So it's funny, and like it's like a film that I'll definitely watch again in the future because it's just I'm gonna watch it with, I guess, slightly rose-tinted glasses, but it's still funny. It still holds up, and I'm gonna do it objectively, not subjectively. That's why certain scores I gave it are slightly lower than other people's, like for production-wise, because it was made in the 90s. And how did you describe it? It was all right.
Oh, I said it was like a Jim Henson kung fu movie.
That's great. I love that. That's such a good thing. Okay,
there's a good point.
That's my.
Sorry.
That was my introduction. So, quick opening statement. Let's go with you, Dan, since you have so many opinions about it.
Yeah, so many opinions. Yeah. So, yeah, this film is. So, the problem is I might have to watch the first one again.
Okay.
Basically, because where I was so tired last night, I thought, I'm going to watch it tonight and then watch the second one tomorrow. I fell asleep about 3 times or 2 times through the film, and they was like 10-minute sections. So I had to literally, I made an hour and a half film into about 2 because I had to rewatch bits. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of come across a bit like Princess Bride, and I couldn't go on with that film.
What amazing!
Wash your fucking mouth out.
I just couldn't. I couldn't get on with it. I just the story was just so fucking all over the place. I just
actually, I guess the question now is for all of you: who has like seen Dragon Ball Z or Journey to the West before this film or anything?
Well, we've only seen Dragon Ball Z like 20 years ago.
That's
my extent. Having seen Dragon Ball Z wouldn't do anything. You'd have had to have seen the original Dragon.
Yeah, okay.
Which I've not seen.
That's true. That's true. But
I've only seen Dragon Ball Z against my will.
It's just me and John then.
Actually.
Wow.
Okay, half. So the scores make sense. Half have seen Dragon Ball and Journey to the West, and the other half haven't. I guess that makes more sense.
I don't think Dragon Ball has any influence on how you would feel about this because it's such a loose connection.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's true.
Resemblance at all.
It's just, I mean, because essentially you have to think of it like, because it's chapter 101, right? It's kind of like an alternate storyline chapter, but that's the best way I can describe it.
Well, I was gonna say, I guess I'll go next. After I watched the first one, I was like, I am really out of my depth here. I had to rewind the opening about 4 times to just get a fucking grasp on what was happening, and then it changed anyway. So I was like, oh, I didn't actually need to do that. But yeah, so my main sort of exposure to it was like watching those YouTube videos that you sent about them, and I watched like all 10 videos they did on Journey to the West, and she's just some.
Are those videos good? You guys all like those videos, or did you guys understand those videos?
I really like those videos. I think I might have been the only one to watch them.
No, I watched a few of them. I didn't watch as many as you did.
Okay.
I missed them.
It's all just like little summaries of like the highlights, but I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's okay. I thought I thought they were interesting. It's all sort of about Sun Wukong just kind of pissing off the entirety of like the like deities in China.
Oh yeah, the bureaucracy of heaven. Yeah.
And then he gets forced to go on this pilgrimage to kind of redeem himself, and that, and most of the stories are just they wander into like these demons, and like the monk inevitably gets captured, and they have to work out how to save him and stuff, and it's all just stuff like that. So, but then I look back at the first film, and I was like, that wasn't there wasn't anything to do with what the videos were talking about. Like, it wasn't anything to do with like a Journey to the West segment that was talking about. So I was quite confused for a lot of it. I was kind of tempted to score it like Tokyo Gore Police, but I was like, I feel like there's context missing. So I will do my research before I commit to a score, because I feel like there's because there was stuff like the magic sequences that were kind of neat, and I was like, this isn't just a shit show. There's more to it, but ultimately I didn't really enjoy them that much. End that one.
Okay, how about you, Ben?
Well, similar to Alec was saying, it's like, even if I didn't like appreciate it for what it is, I do appreciate what it's trying to do. Like, for example, like compared to Tokyo Ghoul Police, like Alec said, that had no story and it didn't really want to go anywhere. But this one has a story, even if you don't quite comprehend it, if that makes sense. No offense, Dan. I feel that like, there's a lot of the filmmakers are trying to do something really bonkers and really weird with it. And even if you don't quite get it, it had lots of moments that I did really appreciate, even if I was like lost for most of the time. I was like, that's a really funny moment. That's a really inventive way of doing something. That's stupid, but it's funny, or that's stupid in general. It has lots of like beats all the way through, and I thought it was entertaining for that reason alone, even if I was like lost. So I'll give it that.
even the bit where he gets kicked in the balls about a million times.
And that was funny, but to a point, it's like, how many more times is he going to get pummeled?
Hey, it's comedy rule 3. He did it 3 times, then he said, all right, that's enough. Let's move on with the story.
No. He consistently does not just stop at 3. That's what was getting on my nerves. He keeps going and doing it a 4th time, and I'm like, please stop. Please fucking stop. Right, who's next?
Yeah, I think most of what I get from it is sort of being able to describe it as a Jim Henson kung fu film, because I was kind of like, I think I said to you guys when I was watching it that I was like 5 minutes in, and I was like, this is just I've no idea what's going on, but this is all happening very quickly, and that feeling never really left me. And I think if somebody was to ask me like, what is the story of these films, and maybe like a 7 is too high for what I'm about to say, but I'm not sure I'd be able to tell you. Like I was completely lost for the whole thing, but I had so much fun, and I just I don't know. I said before, like, sort of these kind of films do this thing where they can like just sort of switch off a bit of my brain, and this did that, and yeah, I just had a great time with it.
That's fair enough. Let's go with Pat. Go on.
Okay. Right. So.
No, don't. Don't do this.
So, like Rob, I sort of had a good time watching it.
Yes, that's what I needed.
But it was garbage.
Yes.
I mean, I don't think it intended to be very good anyway. I just enjoyed the slapstick nature of it. Like,
fair enough.
But I don't think it ever intended to be anything more than that. Like,
yeah, there was self-awareness.
Like Rob said, if you ask me what was it about, I'd be like, fuck knows. But you know, for 3 and a bit hours, you know, it was fun. Would I watch it again? Maybe, but not anytime soon.
Okay, no, that's fair enough. You can't watch, like, if you watch slapstick comedy too much in one go, it gets very sameish.
Because it's very old school slapstick as well.
It's 95, man. I was like, I think we were 5 years old.
Pat,
I was 2.
Pat, you mean slapdick? Oh,
there was too much slapping of dicks in this.
There was a lot.
Oh, I mean, that was the first film, right? We'll get to the second film in a second.
Okay. Well, no, let's be honest. We're not treating this as 2 separate films.
Oh yeah, actually. So
what I will say is I had a lot more fun watching the first one than I did the second one.
The
first one, I was dialed in throughout the whole thing. Second film, my attention sort of wavered a little. Like for what the first film did well, the second film didn't follow suit. But it was still fun enough.
I think the second one made more sense.
They were easily separated.
I thought the second one was way better.
Everyone's talking over each other and not hearing what anyone is saying.
And the second one kind of made me I don't know, I pieced some of it together before I thought, I'm not sure I really need to.
Give it a 1.
Huh?
Why did you give it a 1? Did you really hate it that much?
So, actually, maybe I should give it. I should give them both 2.
Oh.
Yes.
Is this so? Sorry, I'm losing my words. I know I've seen or read quite a few different like versions or retellings or different kind of versions of Journey to the West. So I understood what was going on. I just wasn't a fan of how it was being done. I was just like, what? But I also, I got it and understood why they were going that way. It just isn't the kind of style I personally enjoy. Also, I think, yeah, I think even from the comedic standpoint, I guess I would prefer it slightly differently. But like you said, it was the 90s when they were going the slapstick route. So basically if I had turned on this film, because I was really looking forward to watching this because I really like Journey to the West. This is the thing.
Hearing you say that fucking hurts my heart, and you gave it such a low score.
I love this. I love the lore of this story to Journey to the West, and whenever it gets referenced or used, I'm like, yeah. But I was just like, I would have turned this off if it wasn't for Film Club.
You say that.
Fucking hell, that's worse than me falling asleep.
You're still in hot water, though.
Oh, Jesus, that hurts hearing you say that.
What's the reason for it? Would you say it's like the tone of the films weren't like serious enough, or they too silly, or they not silly enough, or like it's hard to
too serious?
Yeah,
well, it definitely was it was silly enough for whatever it was trying to do.
It wasn't stupid enough. That's like to be more like Tokyo God, please.
No one's about to complain it wasn't silly enough.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna. I know y'all keep bringing Tokyo Gore Police into this. I'm not trying to, but
yeah, it's nothing like it.
Yeah, bring it in.
Yeah, I'm not. How would I'm trying to think how I explain it. It's basically the style of humor and the way it was kind of done, very all over the place. Of course, the chaotic nature of how it was done was also part of the comedy itself and just everything to it. I mean, I did like one of my favorite bits. I did like his master talking them to death. I think that's a good nod to just character things in general, and his character going to but it just wasn't my type of humor and things I enjoy watching. And I was just like, and I wasn't enjoying the script, and it's like, it's just a personal kind of enjoyment thing. It just isn't something. It isn't something the type of writing and humor I enjoy, basically. Maybe if it was a little less silly, again, more personal, and I would have preferred it feel more streamlined. I say more streamlined, less chaotic, but then again, that feeds into the comedy of it. So anything I would have preferred would have taken away from what it was trying to be. And I think it achieved what it was trying to be. And I thought it was quite nice that even though at first I was like, huh? In the second part, you have him there. You have the Monkey King there, like the kind of the human one. It's like, oh, he was there in the background and he gets hit by the staff in random stuff.
No, Emmanuel, he wasn't there in the background. Well, but I'll get to that point in a second because timeline wise, he wasn't there. That's the whole reason why this film is this. Actually, I need to ask: Did you guys watch it? Like, I know it's part 1 and 2, right? But did you guys watch it together as a 3-hour film, or did you actually split up purposely?
I watched them both together twice on the same day.
Yeah, watched it together.
Okay.
Watched them 3 days apart.
I watched one last night and one today.
Yeah, 2 days.
Okay, so I guess that may change the style if you watch the films part by part and like together. But John, what was your
you fucking loved it.
Well, apparently I don't need to speak because Dan's going to talk for me.
Yeah. I thought it was you who went, fucking loved it.
No, it was Dan being a dick.
John, go on, please.
Well, no, I'm waiting because Alex can have a little laughing fit for a bit.
Wait, hold on, I can mute.
I think he's done.
Yeah, I think he's done, yeah. Yeah, I fucking loved it.
Fucking loved it.
No, yeah, I thought it was great because obviously I'm into the lore of Journey to the West in general. It definitely is very chaotic at the start because it just throws you in like, hey, here's all this shit that if you know nothing, this is all random nonsense. There's a talking monkey. There's a weird fucking floating woman. There's he gets sucked into a bottle, leaves wrap around him. What the fuck is all this shit? Sure, I completely understand that that's batshit insane for anyone who doesn't know anything about the lore. But then you realize that it actually does all go full circle, and it doesn't explain everything, obviously, because it expects you. This is made for a very specific audience. That's why I'm giving it high scores, because I think if you watch this as the intended audience, it's great. Obviously, if you're not the intended audience, then it's a nonsense that you probably won't make any sense of at all. But I thought it did fantastic what it was trying to do. And yeah, Pat liking the first movie more than the second movie really confuses me because the first movie is all set up and then the second movie is all payoff. I think the second movie is much more coherent in terms of its storytelling. And actually, obviously, if you're not plugged into it, you're not plugged into it. But for me, the second movie got me emotional because they were actually doing really well at the storytelling and the characters and shit. And yeah, I loved it.
You at the back.
I'm just going on just to reply to John here.
You're not recording a video, Pat. You can just talk to me. I'm right here.
No. So where you're a bit confused about me liking the first to the second one. So I think the story for both are garbage. It's just more that I just had a better time with the first one. It was funnier. That's basically the whole gist of it.
Yeah, so you liked the first part more than the second part, which is exactly what I said.
No, it was because it was silly. It had nothing to do with the story. Because
I didn't say it was to do with the story. You liked the first part better than the second part. Full stop. That's the sentence. There's nothing around it.
Okay. Go ahead.
Anyway, start the story off again. So, to explain it.
Simon, before you carry on, are you using the right mic? Because you sound a bit muffly.
Where is it? Give me a second. Hello?
I'm not sure if I don't know if you're using your actual headset mic. I think you might be using the laptop or whatever you're using.
No, it's just the same. Hello again.
Hello?
Hello, better or not?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. How was it explained? Okay, so to start off again, the beginning is of the story is essentially Journey to the West, the bad route. They didn't do.
Yeah, it's multiple endings.
They didn't do it properly. It's kind of that's why it's called Chapter 101. It's like an alternate storyline.
Well, I think the best way to describe it is using the first one you see is World 1, it's Universe 1, and kind of what you were getting to with him not being there in the first place. He's from Universe 1, but he becomes when he gets there, that's Universe 2.
And that's how this. Yeah, essentially that's correct. It's kind of because the Moonlight Treasure Box, give it its proper name. Don't call it Pandora's Box. No,
I did wonder why they called it that.
It's called the Moonlight Box. Just call it the Moonlight Box, right? Because of the way that time travel works for that particular rule, is that it would jump back into the same sort of timeline.
Yeah, because the box always goes with whoever travels with it.
Yeah, and it will change slightly until there's like a significant change into that timeline, then it will drastically change. Because like when he was using the box and speaking Sanskrit, yeah, they said Sanskrit in this. Okay, so just to make sure it's Sanskrit, not Hindi. Okay, when he says boy me.
Oh, no, we're not allowed to hear that ever again.
But essentially, when he uses the magic word and he jumps into the dive and he goes back and he runs around and like he changed the timeline slightly. That's why the point is that he goes. That's why when he's like, oh my god, oh he's ascended, right? And he goes, oh, he's ascended again. Wait, what did he say again? And because he's changed the timeline, it's used for comedic purposes, but the actual Moonlight Box actually does that in the real story. It's actually a part of canon story.
Yeah, like it's not like real time travel where people who are in the past time period would have no idea. There are feelings and thoughts that carry over, like that they can't explain it.
And he keeps jumping back and like what he says gets slightly more absurd, and he's like knocks back on the fucking door. It's like, hey, honey, tell the ox king to come out and look at Jesus. And it's just like, that translation is actually correct somehow. I don't know how that works, but it's like that one was actually correct. But like but just back. The reason why there was such a significant change for that last run where he actually gets sent back
was because he stopped her from killing herself.
Well, yes, but that's not the main thing. It's because he gave back the medallion that he had to her. That's the thing that it's one of the things that were very significant, because that's the thing that she gave him, and he gave it back to her. That's why the timeline changed drastically to the point where he goes back 500 years, meets what did they call her in? No, they still call her with a Z name, right? Is it
Zixia?
Yeah,
it was Shanxi.
It was Jia.
Jia, yeah.
This is the trouble. We're dealing with a love quadrangle.
I mean, and they're all very similar names.
Yeah,
Jia, I think.
Jia. No, it's the Z one. Her evil sister is the one with the.
There's spider lady. There's zombie lady. There's witch lady with another lady in her head, and then there's Madam Bull.
Spider Lady Master, her disciple, and then separate Jinjia and her sister.
I know what they are in Cantonese. I just don't know how to explain it in English. And that annoys me slightly.
Just say who the character is then. Like they all have very specific traits.
Just see why I was confused.
No, you fell asleep. That's why you were confused.
Exactly
when they body swapped. Oh man.
But the point is, he goes back in time 500 years and meets the immortal, or one of the people who control fate. That's the reason why she's got that's why the second movie is called Of Gods and Fates, because that's literally the point of her physical being. She's a person of literal fate. And then she gives him the birthmarks. I don't know how burn marks turn into birthmarks. Makes no sense to me, but either way,
it's magic.
And bad translations. But she gives them.
That should be the fucking subtitle.
Yeah, bad translation is basically magic, because how do you fuck up that bad?
Chinese Odyssey, nonsense and bad translation.
I was one of the biggest things I was looking forward to when watching this movie is finding out what Pandora's box in this movie was. So I was like, well, there's no way it's the actual Pandora's box, because that's not Chinese.
Lights treasure box. But localization, when they brought it to the West, were like, what do Westerners think mysterious treasure boxes? Pandora's box. Okay, fair enough.
But nothing happens when you open it. Like nothing comes out of it. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's fine. They're too stupid to think about it.
It's the same thing that happened with Kung Fu Hustle, where they supposed to meet Dragon Girl, and like in Kung Fu Hustle where it's the
hang on, Simon. That's a movie that hasn't been watched in film club, and people might not have seen it, so you're not allowed to reference it.
Spoilers.
Okay, but for a lot of Stephen Chow films, if you watch a lot of the movies, especially with the translations, they localize it in quite a bad way, and it's like, why did they do that? It makes no sense. But it doesn't matter because
it still happens with games sometimes. Like it can completely change like characters' personalities or motivations and stuff just from like one sentence being translated badly.
I have too much. I'm just like,
it shouldn't happen. Like back then. I mean, this is what you said, 95.
95.
I kind of get it then because translation was real bad back then. The fact that it still happens sometimes. Like there is a lot of good translation these days, but there's still some really bad ones, and I don't understand how it's allowed to happen. Also, I've just noticed your name, Emmanuel, and I like it.
Thanks. I think it's a combination of laziness and also sometimes
it's probably money. Like they don't want to actually get real professionals to do it.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll get people who obviously they know the language, but they don't know English as well, sometimes as well.
Yeah.
And then the people who are meant to be proofreading it, they don't even really bother. They're just like, okay, cool. And there's like, does this actually make sense in English? It was good enough. No, you're meant to check it. It's like,
I mean, I feel like it's kind of reached to the point where you can just replace the word demon and monsters and use the Japanese word for it, like yokai, and be like, yeah, I guess that would be probably a better translation than what everyone fucking said for the last like 5 ago when they called him, man. What was the list of the bad names? I remember I wrote it down. All right, yeah. Okay, Grandpa Buddha being called. Okay, that didn't make. I mean, his name is essentially Grandpa Buddha. It's like call him Mr. It's either if you call him Mr. Grapes. Jesus Christ.
Mr. Grape was great. I'm sorry, but I enjoyed that.
Yeah, he goes, I'm your grapes. He goes, what the fuck have you done? No, I'm your grapes. No, you're Mr. Gates. What? Who's your? What? And he starts beating him. Goes, give me back my fucking. Yeah, it's great, but it's
great.
It's great. Yeah, but like there's like, and I realized on the second part of that movie where they reintroduced his character, they say his name as Grandpa Buddha too early, and I feel like, oh wait, that kind of reveals that you guys know he is that guy a bit too early. It's supposed to be slightly more secretive, but you could have like an educated guess, I guess. And also, but back to the main point is like, because this is Route 1 or Bad Route or like World 1, like the first time, all the characters that you see when he's like a bandit and stuff. Oh wait, yeah, that reminds me. As a side point, I know you said not to mention Kung Fu Hustle too much, but this is the Axe Gang. This is the same Axe Gang in Kung Fu Hustle.
Simon, I'm going to interrupt you there and just say, I'm fine with you talking about the movie like from your perspective and stuff, but if it sounds like you're going to go through the whole movie at this point, and we'll be here for like 4 hours. So
well, okay.
Just remember to talk about it in general, like from other people's perspective and stuff.
Bullet points. So essentially, the character that did Dan just leave? It is just that noise.
Sorry,
he was like fuck bullet points.
It was just the enormity of how he left. It just
yeah.
But
I was under a Star Destroyer.
the one that they called Blindy, right, is actually the character because they replaced, because it says the timeline is in a circle, right? So Blindy is actually Demon Bull King's sister when she transformed. So he is like, it's literally a woman in a man's body. That's why he's acting so
flamboyant.
Gay. Well,
okay, you could just say gay, I guess. Just go straight there.
I mean, it's not really gay. It's just like it's just a woman trapped in a man's body, in the most literal sense.
Hold on a sec. Sorry.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was the reincarnation of Sandy.
Yeah, but remember,
I was wondering why he had
transformed when she used the magic to, like, he tried to replace his skull into a rock, but he literally went, I just got grab the tits, and he transformed against them.
Yeah. But Madame Bull wound up in the dog body.
No, that's not what Madame Bull. That's his sister.
That's Madame Bull. Yeah.
No, Madame Bull is the lady with the fan. I think you got the
Madame Bull is his wife.
Yeah. But when they do the body swap at the end, everyone seems to be in the right body, but there's a lady in the dog body.
No, that's Bull King's sister. That's the person.
The sister that was going to marry the monkey.
But that's not Madame Bull. Yeah. Madame Bull is completely different.
Oh, fuck it all day.
Madame Bull is the one that pulled him to the side, and he was like, "Oh, sister-in-law."
That's okay. The cogent point I was going for was I don't know why the reincarnate. I thought Blindy was the reincarnation of Sandy, which is what you seem to be indicating. Well, I was wondering why they had a lady voice, but then why is the lady voice in this person and that's meant to be his sister?
Yeah, because
the sister was in a dog.
But the sister, because like they did it, she only did it the first time. Remember, timelines changed constantly. That's the reason why he's in Sandy and not into the dog yet, because they did it the first time and they didn't do it the second time. But
realistically, if we're talking about reincarnation, it should be your soul that reincarnates, not your body. So they should just come back as the same gender. So that's silly.
Well,
I just wonder why he had a lady voice.
Because he was camp. Leave him alone.
Yeah, but again, they did reincarnate. It's just been 500 years. That's all.
No, it's just fine.
That's why when he's still Joker and he's like, oh wait, this is Monkey King's brother. Maybe I can like book my way out of this. And it's like, Bull King, yeah, it's me. It's Monkey King. And he's like, you're really Monkey King? And it's like, yeah. Oh, you fucking tried to sleep with my wife. And he's just why he wants to kill him. That's great. I was like,
yeah, that was fine.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
I'm with you there.
Okay. But like that's like a few main points. There's actually one point I didn't realize that didn't quite make sense to me, because when she's got the poison in her and she becomes more zombified, right? This is skeleton lady. They did the clothes swap thing like in the thing and like to trick the spider lady, but then afterwards they went off and like got changed again, but they had to put a screen up, and it's like you already got changed in front of each other once. You don't.
No, they probably turned around and faced the other way, and this time there was a better way of doing it than having to risk being seen. That makes complete sense.
I guess
that really wasn't my problem with that scene. I hated that scene.
What? Because you see Stephen Chow with fucking like bows and shit in his hair. What?
No. It's yeah. I hate cross-dressing. No. It was the whole bit where she's like, the only way to stop her is to kiss her and breathe life into her, and then it just so happens that Fatty, I can't remember his name, he's like bringing a plate of chicken, so she startles him, he falls over, drops the chicken in the fortuitous position where as she comes toward him she slips on it, and they just so happen to fucking kiss, and he's like, oh.
Hang on. In a slapstick comedy movie, you have a problem with a contrivance.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you threw the fucking key so perfectly into that.
That was my next bit. I fucking hate that shit as well. He just chucks it. I'm like, fuck off.
It's great. Love that. It's the way that the slapstick comedy is. And he's able to turn the key with his fucking like toes, right?
Yeah,
I mean that's reasonable though.
I hate that. I hate all of that. It's just when it's like we know what we want. We know what we want the payoff to be. So it just happens, I guess. And it's like, oh, fucking great. I guess.
Well, no, it's not that it just happens. They literally wrote a specific sequence for it because of the style of movie it was. If they'd literally just like done it like whatever, fair enough. But they clearly wrote that as a comedy element to what was happening. Whether you like it or not, fine. But it's not bad.
You have a problem with him throwing a key and turning with his toes, but they have a fight in someone's body.
I mean, wait, are you talking about? Oh, right.
Yeah, because they go inside, don't they?
Yeah,
they go inside their body and they're having a fight in the fucking person's body with their heart.
Well, I guess. Wait, did they? I mean, like
Simon, hang on. I think Humphrey's responding to Alec.
Oh, was he? I have no idea.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask. You guys haven't watched The Boys?
Yeah,
I haven't. So shut up.
Okay, never mind. But like,
I'll let you off to I know you say.
I haven't. It was shit. Sorry.
But the fighting only happened in the first movie. The second movie, it was that they were essentially the heart is supposed to be like the conscience, or like honesty. That's why he's like, I'm not.
Well, no, it's a literal interpretation when they say "speak from the heart." You don't need to go deep in on that. It's a very literal term.
Yeah, because like as the heart was explaining, yes, I know I look like a coconut. Some girl has said it to me before, but I'm always honest. That's the main point. And it's like, that's why when she asked the second question, so is the person he loves the most me? And then it cuts off there, and you go, oh, right, explains a lot of the story, especially when you just like it happens again, and you go, it just freezes in place, brilliant. But in any case, that's about the first movie. The second movie starts off with her, what was it, fighting off the guy with 3 eyes, Erlang, and all the story there. Again, the reason why that shit with the river, because I always forgot about why it was a river, and it's like, oh right, because it's like dreams and connecting fates again. That's why that scene with the river, and they like sees the river, then afterwards you see her sitting down on the log, and then afterwards he goes in the dream and sits next to her. He's like, oh right, yeah, because they're connecting dreams and fates, because that's who she literally is. She is literally a fucking fate, because of what was the phrase that they used for the fucking movie? I don't remember. Sorry, give me a second. Oh right, yeah, a fucking candlewick, because candlewicks are two strings like turned together to make a candlewick, which is the whole point of her and the sister being. Yeah, it's a fucking I know it's a bit convoluted, but it actually makes sense in the story.
I just remembered the sequence when she like the guy's talking, like she runs across like the guy trying to light a wick, and then they all turn out to be like crazy Power Ranger people, and then he starts like firing lasers out of his head. And I was so checked out at the beginning of that. I was just like, oh fucking okay.
Yeah,
that's happening.
Jim Henson-ish. It's fine.
Please don't besmirch Jim Henson.
I don't need to do that. Disney's done that already.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But again, it goes into the line of like why the first time he sees her again, and he's like, your crazy sister. That bitch, he's calling me crazy. I can get her. I'll fucking kill her. He just called me crazy. Punches him in the face, falls down. It's great. It's great. It's like, again, comedy and free. It's such basic, simple slapstick comedy. That's why it's so great.
I just enjoyed your commentary more than I enjoyed the film.
Okay.
And then she calls him a bitch, and she's like, "Don't call him a bitch." And then he slaps her, and then she falls down. Comedy in threes. Honestly, brilliant.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on.
actually, oh yeah, there is one thing again for translation's sake. Translation's sake, yeah, I know, but it's a question of like when he says to open the door, right? He says open sesame, right? And I've always thought, why does he say open sesame? But then I realized it's part of Aladdin, and Aladdin is actually Chinese, so that's probably why. You looked very confused there, Alec. The original Aladdin, not the Disney version, is a Chinese person.
The original Alibaba and the 40 Thieves was
No. Well, no.
Arabian Nights.
Aladdin is different.
No, Arabian Nights. Well, actually, yeah, Aladdin 1 Arabian Nights is written by the same lady, Sherazade. I can't remember how it's spelled because the fucking long name, right? But yeah, she wrote Alibaba 40 Thieves and Aladdin. But Aladdin is essentially an Arabic story about a Chinese dude.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
So it's like, oh yeah, I remember it because Journey to the West is like a kind of allegory for enlightenment, yes, but like for the Silk Road, which is like the actual physical road that takes China to India and to Rome, technically, but like that's the literal journey to the West is going to the actual thing, because that actually happens to a point. So it seems everyone is like slowing it down. So shall we go to favorite scenes?
Yeah, I've got plenty of those.
I
Really?
well.
Yeah, I do, honest.
Wow. Get out of here.
I have 4 technically.
Oh fuck.
But let's start with you then, Alec. What is your favorite scenes?
Ben, what's your favorite scene?
You.
Oh, wow.
Okay, I'll take I've risen my score, by the way, because I felt I was being a little bit too harsh on it.
What?
No. You were being just harsh enough.
You was being honest.
My score is higher than you, Alec.
Oh, Emmanuel,
no
I was
way.
so proud of you.
Yeah. Simon had a 69 as well.
What?
Congratulations.
Anyway,
It's nice when it happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think my favorite scene, actually, favorite scene and then another favorite moment. I think my favorite scene was when
it's not the category.
Grandpa Buddha, what's his actual name? It's Matria. What's his actual name? I can't remember.
Yes, they call Grandpa Buddha, right? But it's just like call him, like technically he would be Monk Grapes, right? It's like Grapes is actually his his title. I don't know if it's like his code name or his title, right? I don't remember what the precise calling of it is. But if you call him, you just call him Mr. Grapes. It's probably the easiest way.
Okay, Mr. Grape. I'll say Grandpa Buddha because the other Grapes guy it's just in a different body, and that was a different part of the story. But anyway, so Grandpa Buddha, just so everyone is not confused, I think my favorite is when he's talking the guards to death.
Wait. Are you talking about the fucking main monk guy, like Tripitaka, or do you mean the other one that has a beard?
Right. There's confusion here. Emmanuel, you're talking about the longevity monk.
Yeah, you're talking about...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about... Yeah, just call him Tripitaka.
What?
That's his actual name. His name is Tripitaka.
Just call him the monk of longevity because that's what it is in the movie. Let's stop confusing things for no reason.
Okay.
It's mainly because I can't hear you properly over Zoom. Yeah, the monk of longevity, because they kept calling him master, of course, in the second film. But the monk of longevity, yeah, he was talking them to death, And I just just like, oh man, one guy was vomiting at first, and then the other guy was just like, no, I can't take this anymore. And then the other guy was preparing so much stuff to hang himself. I was just like, he's like, oh, you're so good. You did it like faster than me. And it's just like, no, you need to be quiet.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's because he made a trans joke, I guess. That's probably the reason why.
Huh?
Oh, I guess it doesn't, the joke doesn't translate well, but it's a trans joke. It's a transgender joke. But it's like, I can't explain it to you without over explaining it, so I won't bother. Just know it was a transgender joke. It'll be fine. That's why he was just like gross. That's why he's vomiting.
Ah, I see. And I think one of my favorite moments was when Madame Bull pulled Monkey King to the side. It was just like, hey, what are you talking about? You call before you call me sweetie, now you call me madam. Like, what is this? It's just like, look, blah, 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 blah. It's just like, oh yeah, meet me at midnight. And his brother, the bull, is thinking, oh yeah, thanks for saving me. He's like, nah, like this is just not what this is. But yeah, that was mine.
Okay, Alex, you ready?
I really liked the bits in Cinderella where he actually got to be Monkey King, and we got like Monkey King stuff, and I really like pretty much the entirety of the end of Cinderella, and that's kind of what sold me on it being better than the first one, because I was like, oh cool, Monkey King shit, and not Monkey King shit.
I guess that's fair enough. What was your favorite part of the Monkey King stuff then? Like, was there a particular moment he did, or particular scene he did that made you?
Not all of it. Like I liked the fighting. I thought that was neat. I like that he goes through that little. He's like trying to get like break Zix's ear off like gently and stuff, and it's not working. But then like he goes to save her, and the crown's like contracting around his head and all that, and for some reason then trying to sorry, I'm going with stuff I like.
No, there's a reason why that happens, but again, I'll explain that in a second.
Well, I know it's because he's it's human desire and that. So if he starts acting out of human desire, then yeah, it will contract around him. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's actually, I'm gonna say, it's actually one of my other favorite scenes because it's one of the better portrayals of that ring on his head for his punishment. Because like other times when it's done in other media, it's not explained why it hurts his head. It just explains it hurts his head. But this definitely like probably shows you it like fucking like crushing his skull, which is actually fairly appropriate way to hurt someone, I guess.
Yeah, and I like all that, and I like the bit at the end when he uses it. He uses his many fucking powers to find her a boyfriend and stuff, so she can move on. And I was like, that's nice. I don't get necessarily why it doesn't extend to my lady's like just died. As far as I'm concerned, I'm gonna kill King Bull.
Oh, because that's not. Oh, that's I know. I have an explanation for this. Well, let me I got like.
It seems to be a human-ish desire to take.
Yeah, no, there isn't a good explanation for that. That's one of my complaints about it. Is that he gets constricted for having desires for love, and then immediately has human emotion of rage, and it's fine.
How to explain it? There is.
There is no explanation you can give that I will accept, but feel free to try.
No. It's not a good explanation. I remember there is one.
It's not a good explanation.
But no, it's like it's like part of like a very contrived rules of like the journey essentially, it's hard to explain.
Well, I guess technically you could argue that by killing King Bull, he's still protecting the longevity monk, so it was something he needed to do anyway.
Yeah, it's something really like stupid like that. Is what it is, and it's like
I just like the idea of Buddha being like, "Hey, look, if you try and chase that poon, fuck you. However, if you want to bite some cunt's neck out, you feel free, mate. You've got carte blanche."
Well, it's mainly because
that's Buddhist, my friend.
It's mainly because it's like he's a demon yokai monster thing, and it's like they are literally evil. So it's like you're destroying evil. That's kind of the reason I put you on this journey. So it's like, yeah, it was all good there. 10-4, good buddy.
But so King Bull's his brother.
Well, no, it's not really his brother. It's like
it's brother, as in like how black people say brother.
Yeah. Wait, what?
No, I don't.
What? You don't know how? What?
I don't know it.
No, I didn't hear what you said.
Another mother.
Yeah, I said it's in the same way that black people say brother is what I said, and then you guys acted like that wasn't a thing.
No. My head slipped.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, what the fuck?
A fucking moment.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So,
I want to ask one question because I didn't really understand it, and I watched back bits.
This will be retarded.
It's the bit with the baby. How the hell does she get pregnant?
No, she used
the love.
It's fucking magic.
Okay, it's magic, right? But mainly because the joke it's like she was used seduction magic on Joker, right? But the other guy got in the way, and what did the hell did they use as the English translation? Oh yeah, I had a shiver all over your body, and it's like, oh no, you shivered all over my body, and it's like, oh, just say orgasm, or just say fuck. Come on now, it's like essentially because it's magic and they're demon people, right? Essentially, over that like 4 days, she went through 9 months of pregnancy.
Yeah,
I really wish the translation was just like, I hit you with my spell. What happened? He's like, I covered you in semen.
it would have been better. Like, yes, I shivered all over your body. You shivered over my body? Yeah, it was very exciting.
It was fucking disgusting.
It was that's the translation. It was.
The translation was I had a shiver or something like that, and then she said, like, wait, you shivered over my body, and he was like, oh yeah, over your body. Like he didn't say I shivered over your body. He just said I had a shiver.
Yeah.
And then she said the rest.
I assumed it was like that for comedic effect.
I mean, it was, yeah.
It was.
Because the image is still horrible. This guy just on top of her body, just like.
I mean, let me let you in on the secret, Emmanuel. Some men think that's how it's done. I read something on Twitter yesterday that said from a woman saying, "I once had a guy fuck the fat fold on my knee."
Oh yeah, I saw this.
So I don't think men really have any credence to be talking about women's bodies.
I bet Humphrey's really embarrassed now.
Sorry to
I got the fat folds.
Oh, right. Okay.
Where? In your beard?
Bro, what? Save us from this, please.
What do you mean save us? You started this.
Yeah. Well, no, he asked the question. Just sing Only You. Or sing song, right?
I can't lie.
To be fair, I probably would say that was my favourite scene. I fucking loved that. I was crying at that one, man. I don't know why it got me so much, but I thought it was hilarious.
It got me too. It's bad on purpose though, which makes it great.
I love the fact that he's actually saying what needs to be done as well. It ain't just only you. And
exactly. It's not just for the comedic effect. It is hilarious, but there's actually a purpose to it as well.
Yeah, that's the bit that got me the most. Out of the whole thing, whole 2 films, I was just sitting there pissing myself. So awful.
I don't. I never got it being funny. I can't even like conceive it being funny. I just kind of had to let it just wash over me and go, yeah.
Clearly, you have not been to a drunken karaoke.
That's absolutely not true.
He's been too drunk to realise.
That might be right.
That's not true either. But I was just like, I don't know. It was just stuff where I kept going like, yep, they're going to stomp on his balls now to put the fire out. Oh, fire started again. They got to do it again. Oh, fire started again. They got to do it again. Oh, I've set it off again for the 4th time now. Yeah, they got to do it again. It's really funny.
Well, actually,
Now,
they was just stopped at the 4th day. It
was just that for 3 hours. It was just like, fuck me.
Yeah, again, this is for a very specific audience, and I totally get people generally not getting on with it.
So, who should we go with? Okay, Ben, you got a couple of scenes yet?
Yeah, I can't remember what film it was in, if it was Cinderella or Pandora's Box or something.
Maybe it was Parasite, wasn't it?
Maybe it was Die Hard with a Vengeance.
No, it was Parasite.
The scene where the two of them are like, obviously the demon woman, whatever her name is, I can't remember her name.
Spider one?
No, not the spider one. The ghosty.
Zombie lady.
Version.
Zombie lady.
Yeah, she was like going after them and stealing their souls for the kids when they're asleep, and then the two of them like, if we pretend to be asleep, she won't get us.
No, that's
that was
the
a different one.
That was the vampire
that's not her.
dude.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
That wasn't her. That's just the random demon.
Either way, that bit was hilarious. Just how they were evading her so much that I thought that was just like.
I hated that bit as well. I couldn't fucking stand that bit. I hated it.
just like got so stupid and like
it eats like 4 souls in a row, and then it gets to them and they're like, "No, quick, roll over a bit. It'll scupper it."
That's just like that's what's so silly about it.
Fuck's sake. But then Tripitaka's having like weird shit happen because he keeps time traveling, and then he just keeps getting just random bits of wardrobe, and they defeat it because he turns into like a pharaoh, and then he's a pharaoh who's also got a bomb.
Yeah.
And then that's how they beat the demon. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening? We're beating this by fucking rolling over and getting bombs from Egypt. Like ancient Egypt. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, but
that's why it's so funny.
That's the thing. I was
great.
just in this space of anything can happen. So I guess anything will happen then. And so I was just sitting there going like, yep.
I don't know. That's the thing. It's like when you mentioned like the whole fire on the balls thing, it's like, yeah, it was funny at first, and I think it kind of overstayed its welcome just to build a bit. As like, how many more times do they have to like pummel his crotch to get the point across? And it's like, I think they could have done it once and it'd been fine. I think.
Oh, and the time travel as well. Like when he keeps going back to save her and he misses her 3 times, but then on the last one he stops, changes course, beats the fuck out of someone he was about to run past anyway, and then go and do it again. And I was like, you're about to fucking miss her again for not doing. We're gonna do this a 5th time, I guess. But then he catches her, and I was like, don't know how that worked, but fine. I'm just glad that's over with, I suppose.
Yeah, that does break the rule of 3, doesn't it? Damn it.
It breaks every single slapstick moment is breaking the rule.
It just does one too many.
The rule of Humphrey. Anyway.
Sorry, I'll stop bringing people down.
John, what was your favorite scene, please?
I mean, there's loads, but if I had to pick one specifically, it'd be the scene where they think they're all invisible and his crotch gets lit on fire because the fact that they were doing it anyway, like they did it silently to sort of change it up a bit, and then the fact that these random bandits go from doing that organized shit to doing fucking spinning flips to kick him in the nuts to put it out was just exactly the type of humor this film was going for, and it works perfectly.
Yeah, it's again slapstick, but maybe they could have done it one less time.
No, they did it the appropriate amount of times for what they wanted, and I think that's great.
And oh damn it, yeah, I guess.
I mean, you're allowed to disagree with me. Like, this isn't that's not an objective fact.
No. I'm just thinking like,
I don't know. Pat's not come back yet.
Yeah, well,
it's true.
They did properly go for like flying kicks for the.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why that really got me, because it was so like you can see it in many different scenes of this, like where the Sentai influence comes from, like with that kind of thing. But that's literally like a fucking finisher slow-mo move that you do against the final boss, but they do it on his nuts, and that's fucking hilarious to me.
Oh no, I was remembering why you guys said the fourth time, because it does get lit on fire again, right? But essentially the guy comes over with a knife and he goes, dude, it's all burnt up. Just fucking like cut it off, man. It's used it now.
Yeah, that was them retiring the joke. Obviously far too late for Alec, but they were like, okay, we've done it now, just cut it off.
It just seemed to be a repeat. They seem to think rule of three meant do it wrong 3 times and then do it right the 4th time. When I feel like it should be do it wrong 2 times and do it right on the 3rd.
Or you can do comedy the way you wanted to, and you don't have to follow any distinct structure.
You can do it as you like, but I find one funnier.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, and that's entirely fair. Like I said, this is a very specific, like, this is aimed at a very specific group of people, and none of us generally are that. But you know, some of us have sort of delved into that, so we enjoy it more.
I think I would find it funnier if he was like literally disabled for the rest of the film. Going,
not the German, everybody.
Yeah, honestly,
Jesus Christ. If he was just in a wheelchair and he didn't become the Monkey King because, you know, he's disabled and he's got a parking spot now.
Yeah, he can't walk. He can't walk ever again. He can't have children, nothing.
It's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's what would be legitimately funny for him.
Well, he shakes his balls out of his trouser leg.
Imagine that scene, though, where Shinji's like, kiss me. And he's just like, I can kiss you, but we can't have kids.
Yeah, we can't do anything.
It's just like, why? It asks his heart, he can't have kids? No, his balls have been destroyed. Okay.
That would actually be kind of funny, actually.
See, they missed the trick.
So, Pat, how about you? What's your favourite scene?
You give up on life.
There was no specific favourite scenes. It's just an accumulation of scenes that I found really funny.
Okay. Elaborate, please.
There's nothing really to elaborate on. It's just a bunch of things that I found funny.
Okay.
It's just a film.
You must have an example of some kind.
Yeah, what made you scream with laughter?
There must be like a standout haha you had.
I guess the question is, Pat, do you think stepping on someone's dick 3 times or 4 times is too much?
Oh. There were 2 options there.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was
3 or 4 times. Okay. They're properly mugged up today. Jesus. Anyways, if that's your favorite scene,
I hope you see what you've done there, John.
In any case, favorite scene for myself, or the scenes that accumulate for the first movie or the first part, is definitely the jumping around in the timeline scene because it's time travel that has consequences and it makes sense in that particular way. Second movie, it's a combination of 3 particular scenes that have that again have like connected to each other with the setup, the build up, and the payoff. I guess it's done comedically first, where there's the freeze frame scene and the like fourth wall break, where he's like trying to go to her and he's like in the wedding dress, or he's in the wedding outfit and he's like fucking has the sword flying at him, and it's like during that 0.1 seconds, that knife was about 0.1 centimeters away, and he was like stuck in that weird phrase and stuff. But essentially, that scene is the setup for a slightly, or let's say more serious scene, right? Because he tells her that very emotional lie of like, I once had love in front of me and I let her go. And to this day, I regret it. And if I could go back in time and change what I could do, I would go and say, I love you. But that was set up for comedic reasons first, because of, again, the freeze frame and how his hands were like this and how his feet were like that, and how like even though it's a freeze frame, she still did this and went back with the sword. And it's like, okay, that's weird. But because even though that was a comedic scene, it pays off later when he dies and gets sliced open by that fucking spider lady, and he goes back into like into the cabin with the thing, and he repeats that scene when he puts on the actual ring onto his head, and it becomes the build up to that scene. Then he essentially, that scene ends again with the ring on his head scene with the human emotions, because he can't actually do the things that he could do until much later, until right at the end, where he does the thing that he said he wanted to do, of like going back in time and saying I love you to the girl, because he was able to finally do that. So that's like start, build up, and payoff of that whole fucking film, which is, I think, is probably why you guys like Cinderella more than Pandora's Box. It's probably why I think, at least that's one of the main reasons I think you guys like it the book more.
Yeah. It was nice the kind of last time he said like what he wishes to do. It was just a shame, obviously. I never like when Monkey King acts like a jerk. But obviously he's not. And she's just like, oh, you're lying again, when she gets the kind of things and goes after him.
I mean, that's kind of the point of it, right? It's like he's lying to her to make her like hate him and dislike him, right?
Yeah, I'm okay with him.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like how he treats her, but like it is in service to get her to leave him alone because he can't give her what she needs and stuff. And it's like, yeah, that's so good. Like I really wish like there was like more of that, and I wish it was about Monkey King and it wasn't about Monkey King having amnesia and starting a gang and all this other stuff.
I'd
like it better if it was a different film, basically. In this,
well, okay,
that's not the film's fault necessarily, but
amazingly speaking, this film was like one of the first, if not the first, versions of like a alternate Journey to the West story, because there have been quite a few more nowadays, and like it's the reason why I gave Impact a slightly higher score for the second film, because you know that song where they play with like the brass and like the strings, right? Where he's like entered the Monkey King, like it's like his main theme, right? The that song, if it's been used by if that particular piece of music has been used by future movies that have Journey to the West in it to introduce the monkey, it's been used so much that it became his theme for future movies that it has any sort of like Hong Kong, like if it's been filmed in Hong Kong and it's got Monkey King and it's getting introduced, they use that theme like most of the time, like if not like 100% of the time.
Yeah, if we get into Impact, I like I looked it up and it's got like quite a few like awards and stuff, and I was like, yeah, I can't give it less than a 5 if it's like got awards and it's been given like if it's had like that amount of cultural impact and stuff. But like literally the only things I could give Impact a higher score on in the second lot was the monkey stuff, and there was actually like one joke that made me laugh like microscopically.
What was it?
It's when he's like trying to work out what he's going to do between Zixia and Ying Ying, and then young Grandpa Buddha is he's like, yeah, yes, Ying Ying, you said her name in your sleep about 75 times, and he goes, yeah, 75 times, and then he literally just like turns around and he goes, and then you said Zixia's name 785 times, and like that did actually get a little laugh.
Okay, yeah, and what he says the comment, she must fucking owe you a lot of money.
Yeah. But then he does it again like a little later and he goes like 786, even more than last time. And I was like, that's I enjoy your delivery, sir. I hadn't enjoyed anyone's delivery up until that point, and I was like,
because that sort of comedy is so, I guess, dry is the word, I guess, because of like the way he says it with his face. It's just, and it's like,
I mean, you say everything with your face.
Well, I mean, with his especially like deadpan, silent face, right? And he has the argument with him about love, and he goes like, he's like, I kind of comes like hate her more. I mean, sometimes romance becomes hatred, and romance are like together. You really need a reason to love someone, don't you? Do you? Don't you? Do you? Don't you? Oh man, I was just having a conversation with you.
Excuse me. Sorry, everybody. Who else needs to do a favorite scene?
Manuel? Wait.
I did mine.
Okay.
I did mine. It was the talking them to death, longevity monk. And one of the favorite moments when Madame Bull took him to the side.
All right, yeah, and like twisted his arm literally. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
I did have an honorary one actually, from Pandora's Box, and it was the magic fight between the sisters and King Bull. I appreciated the effects work that must have got into that, because I was like, not being funny, these suits are shit. You gotta your spider webs are made of crappy cotton thread, and you're just chucking like crappy white nets around, and then you gotta have a big plastic King Bull head to suck them all up with.
Yeah.
But like, even when they're sending the fire and he's like using the Bancho fan to redirect it and stuff, I was like, these are like little things that separated from Tokyo Gore Police, where I was like, this is all like really impactful sort of stuff, and I imagine this was quite hard to do, considering you clearly weren't working with a lot of a budget.
Well, I mean, it was again the 90s, right? And like, what? Dan, when was Tokyo Gore Police made?
Hey, I was made in the 90s. Do I look like shit? Yeah. But
it was Gore Police was 2007, I think.
Yeah, see, it's got no fucking excuse. But yeah, that's why I didn't want to have a go at this one as much, because I was like, there's like a lot of production elements where like they really close up on the monkey makeup, and sometimes it's weird. They have like when he's in the waterfall cave and it's like flash forward and it's like monkey makeup, and those last two looked fine, and then they go monkey makeup, and I can see the stitching, and I'm like,
yeah,
you had two already that weren't shit. why did you use this third one where I can see the stitching on it?
Oh yeah, that happened with Star Wars and the Ewoks for me.
Yeah, but like,
you can see the netting on his face.
Yeah,
yeah, like you saw like the eyeballs on one of the Ewoks. It's kind of
that's literally what I was just saying.
Sorry. But
no. That wasn't on you. That was on Humphrey saying exactly what I just said. Shut up, Humphrey.
All right.
Oh, I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. No. But yeah, I thought like with the production, like for everything that I could moan at, there's something else that I could go, hey, you know what? That set design was really quite cool, and like there was clearly effort put in, and I would never accuse a Chinese Odyssey, Pandora's Box / Cinderella of being lazy, and I think laziness is where I really start having a go. But like I think effort went into this, and like there's some seams showing here and there, but like yeah, on the whole, A for effort. It's not great on the execution all the time, but like
the fact that when he gets wrapped up with a lily and his face is on plastic. He's on
that's
he's like, what?
And he's doing like these crappy little flips and rolls and stuff, and I'm like, oh god, this looks so bad.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's why I gave it a slightly less production score. I gave it like 7. Like guys gave it 6, so I was like, yeah, that's about that, right? It's not like the most well-made movie, Italy, but it's like, I
think there's a shot in Cinderella where like a bunch of characters jump, and you can see the strings on them, and I'm like, oh god, and yeah, it's just when they kind of it's when they jump up, and I think King Bull chucks a bunch of rocks at them. It's like it's just like it's just this one shot, and yeah, and I don't know. It's like Pigsy's makeup, and I'm like, oh. Considering it's makeup, looks all right. It's not great, but it's better than I could do. Like, you know, so fair enough. Yeah.
So he picks his fake nose so many times, right? and I was like, I'm surprised it didn't come off, but it goes into a lot of effort into picking his fake nose. So I was like, yeah, that's not too bad, right? Yeah. All right. Emmanuel first. What was your hand up for?
It sucked.
Well, I was already unmuted.
What?
I had muted myself, but I thought Dan was first. But I'll just say this really quickly. The effort that the guy was making in the Monkey King part when he was being driven crazy, so like, oh, fly and all that kind of stuff. That whole scene. The movements he was making, that was so much effort. I was just like, man, that guy, he was really doing stuff.
Oh, you mean when he's like going the hairs and sort of flicking? Yeah.
Yeah, he like flipping it over, going over this way, this way. Like he was doing some proper moves. I was like, the guy's making good effort.
I had the same thing with the acting, and I was like, I'm not gonna stand here and pretend like no one made an effort, because they fucking did. But like, there's people like Fatty, and and there's like, he's meant to act annoying, and he succeeded. He was really fucking annoying, and I hated him, and I couldn't wait till he was off screen. Fuck off.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like the scene. Well, I mean, they use acting within acting, right? Where Blindy's got like falls down, it's like got knocked up and hits the floor, and like they're bleeding from the mouth. And it's like I'm like blind, but the only thing I had sight was trusting his leader. bleeds out, it's like over his mouth. Then afterwards, when everyone's like, all right, let's get on with this shit. And I was like, all right, yeah, it's written well and it's acted well. And I feel like that's a credit to it because, like, even though it's kind of stupid, it's funny and it works well. But anyways, Dan, what was your question?
So one of the fights that got me was when they're fighting the Bull King or wherever he is, and he changes size. So he's supposed to be this like giant fucking creature, and then when they start fighting him, he goes back to being their size. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that was a Power Ranger moment, wasn't it?
It was. Oh, his whole fucking get up and his followers. Oh my god, the makeup on them was so.
I was quite impressed by him though. I was like, this guy. I mean, you know, he did embody a bull variety bull king.
It was very Power Rangers, like, you know, the first Power Rangers film where it's just very
Well, I mean, yeah, it's
easy camp kind of
early 90s like plastic makeup. What I mean, like it could have been a lot worse, right? Because like some of them are like the mask, but it's kind of like a little bit of makeup underneath, so it looks a bit like it looks kind of like off-putting, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, most of it's generally fine.
Yeah. I think it's just the way they looked. They looked really funny.
I feel like there was a question I have to ask you about. You say that when they changed size, right? Do you mean the first one, right? Where he's fighting the two ladies?
Yeah.
He didn't go smaller. They went big.
Oh yeah, true. He turned up massive, didn't he? And then they got bigger to match him.
Yeah, yeah.
And then everything afterwards, he's normal size.
Yeah, it was way later that they changed his back to normal size. But he starts off big, right? Because when he froze up with that weird spew color, and he like covers all of his like other like gang members. They're like probably like covered with the spew because again he's big. And they just transformed Power Ranger style big as well.
Properly covered in the spew.
I might have to. I'm definitely going to watch it again because I feel like I've done it an injustice by falling asleep.
Yes! Higher points.
But like the other bit that got me was the bit when they have the fight inside the body, because it's the same fucking deal. It's like... It kind of where it's like the first time you see it, it's just like what the fuck, because they shrink down into this little bullet thing and they go inside him, and then that's
kind of a cliche in a lot of like animes and a lot of like martial art films. I feel like if you haven't seen it before because you haven't really seen that stuff before, I guess that would be very jarring. But it is like a thing that a lot of martial arts things have done. Because they literally made the joke of he says, "Bitch, get off my intestines," and they made a joke of like, "I'll step all over your shit anyway," or like something like but it wasn't translated properly, which I find like kind of sad, I guess, because like that's a good pun, but it's like it doesn't translate that well, I guess.
No, I think it's just how absurd it is. Like when you watch it and it fucking they go inside and they fight. It's just, I know the film's a bit bonkers anyway, but it's just that one scene where it happens. You're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Oh man,
as you said,
if it's because I feel like it's done in a lot of like other sort of martial arts films and TV series, right? So it's like a thing I've seen before. A decent lot. It's kind of like when people like, it's like, it's a cliche in martial arts films. But if it's not a thing that you've seen, it's not a cliche. It's just a thing that has happened. Why does this happen? I don't know. It's just a cliche. It can't be properly explained.
It's a cliche.
Cliche. Going inside someone's body and fighting inside someone's body.
Oh, I've never seen that anywhere before.
Oh, wait. Then again, I was about to say you've not watched Dragon Ball Z Smash and Blue. No, it's
because Dragon Ball Z is shit.
Oh,
yeah, but like that's I mean, like, if as a context that's happened in Dragon Ball Z for those who have watched it and care and are not Alex. In any case, if that happens in Dragon Ball Z, they go inside their body and they fight. Happened a few other times in other anime and other stuff. So it's like I've seen it a few times. So I'm like, all right, I understand what we're doing. So if it's like, I don't know how else to compare it to. Like it's like going back to the Dragon Ball Z part, right? If you've never seen someone charge up and become stronger, right? And they're just like, sorry, I could only put on you as well. Who gave you that link for when Goku goes to Super Saiyan 3?
Oh, Pat gave me that one, and honestly, I've never been more bored. It was a fucking meathead just shouting his hair extensions out. I don't get the appeal.
But like the point is, like, if you've never seen that in other shows or other things, right, you wouldn't know what it's about or like what sort of things that it has to have some sort of context. But if you don't know what that context was or is, then it becomes just confusing, right? Or just this is like otherworldly to me because it's like I've never seen this sort of thing. To me.
Oh, I know the context. If you yell hard enough, you get bigger hair and you become more powerful. That's a Super Saiyan.
Okay. But
thank you, Humphrey.
What about if you do that?
Yeah, then you fuse with some bastard, and then you get really big hair. That might be a different color. I don't know.
So weird when you do that on Zoom because Humphrey is like up there and
oh fuck! Imagine it. Here you go, Humphrey. Let's do it. No, don't avoid me.
So
you
weird.
Become both fat and thin at the same time.
In any case, that scene is weird because
I'm not saying it's weird. I'm just saying it's like it's just within the context of the film. It just becomes a bit, not so absurd, but it's a bit wacky.
In a comedy martial arts film by Stephen Chow.
Yeah, that's the thing. I
don't know. I don't know how to explain it any more than it's one of those comedy or martial arts tropes that does happen. They used it in this particular martial arts / comedy movie. That's the best way I can explain it.
Probably do. It's just I've only watched mostly serious martial arts films, so I don't know.
What is considered a serious martial arts film for you guys?
Well, I'll give you an example because John picked Hero a while ago, and
Jet Li?
and that was kind of my first. Do you say it wuxia? Is that how you say it? Wuxia? I don't know.
Wushu is probably
wuxia.
Yeah.
I'd never seen a wuxia film before, so the first time I watched it, I laughed my fucking ass off. I thought it was hilarious, but watching it again, I kind of realized that there was more of kind of an artfulness to it, and like there was still a bit where someone's stunt cable malfunctioned and he kind of went bah! And like it was still funny, but like there was a philosophy behind Hero, and it made me go like, oh, okay, yeah, this isn't the stupid martial arts shit I thought it was. So it kind of elevated it for me.
Okay.
A bit. Whereas what I struggle with, because like I've never made it through Kung Fu Hustle the whole way. I think it's crap. And yeah. And this is kind of my thing here, where I was like, I'm sorry,
Emmanuel just died inside.
I'm so sorry. If someone picks it, I'll watch it, but I'm not going to do it by myself. I won't.
Kung Fu motherfucker.
yeah.
But this, I want to punch you through the screen slightly. I don't know why.
That's okay. You're free to do so.
Anyways, okay.
But that's kind of why I struggled with this, and it was just like, oh, it's a joke, and then it's, I don't know. Most of the praise seems to come from I'm familiar with the genre already, and I didn't know what was happening, but it was really, really fun, and I don't know. Neither of those are sitting right with me. And I feel like I got a decent grasp of like the stuff behind it and the chain of events and all that. It's just something is just not connecting.
Okay. Okay.
And we're at a point where like the characters have access to magic, and multiple characters have access to multiple different kinds of magic, but they're so fucking weird.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the limit is. So anyone can just do anything that the plot needs it to do. And like from watching the videos you sent me, the videos you sent us. I didn't mean to make this like intimate thing. Like obviously there's like context for it where like the whole point of Monkey being so powerful is so like he becomes this force that the gods don't know how to deal with, and he's just like this, and like he's meant to be like a embodiment of like just humanity as a whole. Like they keep getting more and more developed, and they're going like, how do we fucking deal with this? And like that's the main kind of point of conflict. But like we come to here, and I'm like, I don't know what can happen and what can't happen. So I kind of just have to let it wash over me, because anything can apparently happen whenever anyone wants it to.
So,
and it's like I like the fighting, I guess, but I don't don't have a grasp on like the world or anything. And it's like sorry, Humphrey.
no.
I didn't want to penalize this for being not like for not being like a monkey origin story, like it's like a Marvel film.
The monk.
I didn't expect it to pander to me, because like I know that it's like Journey to the West is this huge, very, very old, huge cultural thing, which if you're from that side of the world, you're probably way more familiar with than I am. So I didn't want to have a go at it too much, because a lot of people are obviously, and as John was saying, if you're part of that audience that it's aimed at, you probably know Journey to the West very, very intimately, so you don't need an origin for it. But yeah, I generally felt like fucking lost most of the time.
I guess this is actually a good perspective to have, because like I have about half of you who kind of know what it is, and the other half who really know what it is, and I can see both the sides when you guys watch the film. I guess that's why it's got such a, for the score for this movie you gave it, it's got such a kind of a pretty decent split in the middle. And I kind of appreciate that in the weird sorts of ways. Like, all right, I can see if someone who has never seen something like this before would rate it like high and go, yeah, it was pretty good. Although it's just what the fuck. And that's good. It's good. No, it's a good thing.
This was the other thing, because the videos you sent us, I was like, watching them, I was like, this sounds really, really interesting. I'd love to watch a film about this. These were not the films about those things that I was interested in.
Admittedly speaking,
this is like, here's Monkey King, but he's not Monkey King for 2.5 hours of this. He will become Monkey King, but this is kind of his origin, and he's in a love quadrangle, and it's over time and space, and like it's all just like really fucking slapstick shit.
Okay,
and it's like, that's okay, that's fine, you can go and do that, but ultimately, I did just kind of want.
Alex,
what was going on?
Alex, okay.
You're wrong.
I have a quick point to say something for this. All right. No matter how much you like or dislike Marvel, no. I've got a point. Let me get to this point.
Good. You're absolutely good.
Spider-Man, you know what happens with Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
He gets bitten by the spider. That's then Uncle Ben dies. Great power, great responsibility. Right?
What?
Yes. Don't you fucking okay. But the point is, there have been other movies about Journey to the West that are the Monkey King origin story movies.
Yeah.
And everyone from that side of the planet fucking hates those. Because to them, it's like watching, yes, we get it. Fucking Spider-Man gets bitten by the spider and Uncle Ben dies. We can make a different story or make a more interesting story. And it's like, you know, it make the Miles Morales story. It's like, okay, sure. But that's why there have been some of them that have like changed the story up a little bit, and those gets like a decently higher score because like, all right, they know because we know what the story is, because we know what Spider-Man is and like what happens, and we just like go with the story slightly differently and a different angle, I guess, and like you change it up a bit and it makes it more fresh, I guess, or like it gives like a better idea. So for this film, it's like essentially it's like we know what Spider-Man is, but let's just fucking like
deconstruct them a bit.
Or like make zombie Marvel Spider-Man, which is actually quite a good story if you read the comics. But like that anyway, I digress. It's like, all right, cool. It's a different version of that story that we already know through watching the media of Journey to the West 100,000 times. And it's like, yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Let's watch. It's different, but in a good way and in a comedic way. So it's lighthearted. It's not too overly serious. You know, because like if you want an origin story, I will send you a link for some of the other films. But I feel like if you watch like the TV series, I feel like it's like because it's episodic and very monster of the week-ish. Is that the correct term?
Yeah. From what the videos were saying,
yeah. Because like if you watch like the original TV series, I don't know if they have like an English subtitles. That would be the problem, right? But like if you watch the original TV series and just watch it again, you go, oh yeah. It's like reading the book of not inconsiderately like thousand like 1,000 chapters, right? Or something like that. So yeah, I think like that would probably be it for you guys. So Andy, what are your ending thoughts?
I've talked a lot, so I'll do this now and then I'll just let everyone else have a go. I found this all extremely interesting. I'm really intrigued to actually go and find some Journey of the West, like literature, just so I can get what this film didn't provide me with, which is not his fault. But yeah, thank you for picking this. I didn't like it. I didn't enjoy it. But this was an area of culture that I'd not really looked at before. So yeah, I would be interested to, and I finally know what happened to Bruce Wayne's parents, sort of thing. But yeah, good going, good pick.
It's good.
It good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It not good, but it was a good pick.
Good enough.
Sort of like Snowpiercer.
I've already chosen.
I know you
technically.
Yeah, you have. And I haven't liked one of them.
Well, you're gonna fucking hate my next pick. Anyways,
statistically, I bet I will.
Anyway, so ending statements. Dan, because it looks like you're about 40.
What? Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking loved it.
Yeah, it was something. It was
a roller
something. Coaster ride of what the fuck? No.
It was a roller coaster ride of better than Tokyo Corpus.
Wow. Coherent story. No.
little fuck.
Yeah, it's. I don't know, really. It just didn't sit with me because, as you said, it's completely bonkers. And I was gonna say, when you sound about like this is a film for like a light-hearted version of something, think about like Scary Movie, if I can bring it into the same context. Like the fact with Scary Movie, it takes all the stupid bits out of horror films and makes a film about it. So you've got like,
well, Scary Movie 1 was actually funny, right? Then it got progressively worse over time.
Yeah.
But you get what I mean.
Much worse.
You're taking like the tropes from different things, like that film where.
Yeah, but that's just, I have an argument with that because it's not the tropes of other things. It's literally its own story because tropes came from this fucking story, you know?
Yeah, like I don't know. It's kind of, yeah. I can see what you mean by it being like a light-hearted, trying to change it up. But yeah, if you have no idea about that kind of background, then you're just sitting here like, what the fuck did I just watch?
Okay, fair enough. I'll give you that because you are that half of you haven't watched anything from it.
Yeah.
So Rob or Ben, I guess.
Yeah, I had a great time with it, man. I'm really glad that you picked it. And I've also had a really nice time just listening to you talk about it. That's been quite nice. Yeah, I just think like the kind of film it was going for is just spot on because it just looked like a sort of, I don't know, like the production values was about the same as like a stage show that was like, you know, done at some random school somewhere. But yeah, it's just all spot on for me. I thought this was a great pick.
Well, I think like someone's enthusiasm like makes me like I should rewatch this film again to understand it better and to appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Because at the moment I'm like I don't quite understand this. I don't quite think I'm like the target audience. But
I feel like I have to say one thing here, and I feel like I am gonna regret saying this. Maybe you guys should watch an English dub version of it to maybe understand some of the jokes and like characters better because the just like that. It's like it's a gross thing I said, and it's like I feel like, but it might be needed because a lot of the jokes don't translate well, and like some of the characters would probably be better translated in English if you found like an English dub version, because the English dubs when they do it are slightly better.
Okay.
About John or Emmanuel?
It wasn't what I was expecting. It was interesting, but yeah, I think it was just an interesting experience. It was just like, what is going on?
It wasn't what I was expecting. It was interesting.
Everything.
The whole time. But yeah, it's. I'm glad you picked it though. Still, it's one of the Journey to the West I haven't seen, and now I've seen it.
The West.
Again.
I think you can find actually a lot more on Netflix. Actually, if you needed to watch a little bit more Journey to the West stuff.
I was really hoping he was going to go. That's okay.
Anyways, John or Pat, what is your ending statements?
Nothing.
So I'm glad you picked it. I had a good time with it.
Okay. John?
Yeah. It's again, I think it's a great movie for what it was doing, and I'm completely unsurprised by the division in scores because it's hard because like I love the movie, and I should probably mark it down for what I'm about to say, but I'm not going to. But generally speaking, my rule with movies is that they should be able to stand on their own without any background knowledge. Like to make a good movie, you should be able to just watch it and enjoy it as is. Like you shouldn't have to be in a fandom, you shouldn't have to know lore or anything like that. It shouldn't be a continuation, anything like that. But at the same time, you know, movies are often passion projects, and who cares? You can make whatever you want. Like, and in this instance, it suffers for it. Like, if you're outside of that criteria, but you know, whatever. For the people that it's aimed at, I'm sure everyone loves it.
Like Demon Slayer, Mugen Train, you know, where they just watched the Demon Slayer movie. No one like, okay, fuck me then.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. I just wanted to see you flounder a little bit.
Okay, cool.
Wait, say that again. What about Demon Slayer?
Like watching the Demon Slayer movie, right? If the Mugen Train, if you've never watched Demon Slayer,
that's a movie.
It's like one of Japan's top grossing movies.
Nice. The give context, I've only read the manga and seen a few episodes from like I think season 1 or whatnot. So I know the whole story, but I haven't paid attention to much animations coming out in the last few years, honestly.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Well. Okay.
So I have been recommending it to people because the animation quality and production is top tier.
Yeah, Ufotable is a very good animation studio. Well, I guess that. Well, on that note, I guess that concludes Journey to the West 101 chapters. Moonlight Treasure Box and Journey to the West grand finale. Gods and Fates. Proper titles for this film. Okay, so next week is John.
Yep.
What is your pick, John?
My pick is Shin Godzilla.
Nice.
Which I have never seen before because I'd never had the chance really to see it, and then I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then Rob made me think of it a few weeks ago for some reason that I can't remember right now. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah, I can just pick a movie I haven't seen for once because I've wanted to see it for a long time. The only place I've seen it is on Prime to rent or buy. If you find it anywhere else, let me know, but I did have a look multiple times.
Okay.
Cool.
Well,
Nice.
that title doesn't even make any sense.
What? No, Shin as in like new Godzilla. Isn't
Well,
it?
Is that what it means?
It's more true than new, I think.
Oh, actually, well, wait, I've got to look at the kanji now. Damn it.
I did look it up. I can't remember what it was, but obviously I know like Shin can mean new or true.
Oh.
Yeah, true. Like Shinkansen.
I did actually look it up, but I completely forgot. It was going to be one of my things, but
So you got 4 stars on there.